Oh man, this is like a freaking movie. More stuff with Bungie. Let's just get straight into it. Oh man, multiple things that are happening right now. Employees, ex-employees are coming out and talking about their experience at Bungie, and basically it's not from just the developer level, it's a lot higher. So the first story I want to talk about, go over a bit, is Destiny 2, where basically an idea was pitched by leadership that they wanted to add a subscription to the game. Yes, a subscription like how World of Warcraft is, where we have to pay a certain amount a month to have access to online. Now, if you guys remember from Destiny 2 when it first came out, it was a game you had to pay for. People paid $60 for it or $70. I can't remember the price. I even did it. And we had Red War and we had Curse of Osiris. But what happened later on is they took away Curse of Osiris, and also they took away the Red War and made the game free to play, basically screwing everybody over who had purchased the game. And this is where it became a very big problem, because Bungie started adding their DLCs in, which was $40 to $80 or even more. And it's just getting worse and worse by the minute, pretty much. So the report comes from a content creator named Destin Ligari, I believe is his name, of Save State Plus. I highly recommend checking it out. He goes more in depth with this. But basically what happened was developers were talking about leadership pitching an idea in a meeting about adding subscriptions to Destiny 2. Thank goodness it got rejected instantly. Like, they're like, hell no. One thing that is great that Bungie has done, and it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous, because now they're like, since that has been removed or that's off the table, they have also looked at an armor set. It was called the Trial of Osiris, the PvP armor. And if you get flawless in the game, it gives like a glowing, like a radiant glowing look to the armor set, which looks really cool. And it's also like one of those very good and rewarding things to have. Well, here's the issue with that from Bungie. Leadership, they want to throw that behind the Eververse store, which, if you guys do not know, it's a store within Bungie that you have to use real money to actually purchase, items and things like that. So a lot of people buy like ships and sparrows and armor sets and weapon skins for exotics, all of that. They wanted to throw it behind there because of how good the armor set looked, but that got rejected as well. Thank goodness. And it's crazy to see that Bungie is starting to go into this greed. Well, actually, not even started. It's been like this for quite some time. Ever since when they did, I believe, the Taken King, pretty much, from Destiny 1. So it didn't stop there, because there was a lot of developers that also came forward and talked about them being scolded about monetization for Destiny 2 completely. All the armor sets, levels that they were working on, like all of it had to be something that the consumers had to buy. And it sucks, because I'm a big fan of Destiny. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bungie ever since Halo Combat Evolved first came out. And we all know how those games back then were so colossal. They were amazing. We know what Bungie is capable of. But the fact is, they don't have the same leadership that they had back then. And mass majority of those people in the leadership left because of these situations. Now, the crazy thing is, Edge of Fate is coming out pretty soon. Coming out in the summer, July 15th, I believe. Yes, in July 15th. And people are now questioning if it's worth it, if the DLC is worth it. I mean, we already know you get a campaign, you get a dungeon, you get a raid and everything, which is fine. But does that suffice for $40 that people are going to pay for? Or if you get the bundle with Renegade, it's $80. And that only comes with a dungeon. It doesn't really come with a campaign or anything. It just comes with a dungeon. So is that even worth it? I talked about it in a previous video, just my thoughts about it, but I would like to know your guys' thoughts about what you guys think about this whole thing as well. But before we do that, I want to talk more about another thing, because it doesn't stop there. It doesn't. There are rumors or talking about HR at Bungie. So it doesn't stop with only leadership. It's also with HR as well. HR being in their own little clique, wanting to hide things from the staff to make sure they secure a payout when they leave, because there are a lot of people that were leaving the company and they were receiving multi-million dollars, you know, it's like a multi-million dollar salary, like once they left, for like, hey, all the work that you did, this is how much money you're gonna get, you know, type of thing. So we're gonna go further into this one. So following the greed that is happening at Bungie, along with HR, they have been reported as a problem as well. Instead of looking out for staff, looking out for anybody, they were accused of working with their own interests, covering up harassment and serious complaints, secure themselves massive payouts when leaving the company, basically covering their own butts. This seems like a movie. It seems like a movie where it's like corruption in, like, you know, the government, things like that we all have seen before, like, you know, Ed Snowden and things like that, and usually like other movies. But happening in the game industry is crazy, having corrupted people just working there. And it's not even developers, it's just like an HR department, like one of the most important jobs to have, because this is how things get solved, you know, this is how people get hired, this is how people have to get let go, things like that. This is how, you know, people are getting paid and everything as well. So it's crazy, like they're like, hey, we're just gonna do our own thing and pretty much hide from everybody, which is crazy. So somebody ordered that here, that unprompted and universally HR is highlighted as a major problem. The Gary said in a video, each person I spoke with expressed anger at a specific individual who has since left the company. Ex-employees claimed that HR was working in their own interest, and there were accusations that issues of harassment were being covered up so that HR could get a multi-million-dollar exit. What's going through my mind about this is, I wonder if Sony is seeing this and they're not saying anything, or if they just do not know entirely. Because remember, Sony purchased Bungie for multi-billion dollars. Like, I think it was like 3.6 billion, or it was like 3.6 billion or 8.6 billion, something like that. So just think, that much money that Sony has purchased. Like, they have to be looking at this. Like, it's just like so much shady and sneaky stuff that is happening. It's crazy. It's insane. Another insane thing that has happened while working with HR, that has been multiple complaints that if people were promoting their own work, talking about it, they would receive a letter or an email from HR basically giving them a warning, like, you know, they can possibly lose their job. And one person has said this. They said, if you speak out publicly about either a personal issue or promoted your own work, you could expect an email as soon as 15 minutes later to hit your inbox, one employee said. Another added that employees were warned against promoting themselves publicly. So even if you're an artist or anything like that, that made an amazing level or an amazing weapon, and you put it on your art station and you promoted your art station out to social media just so people can get a look at it, you got in trouble for that, which is insane. And I could be wrong on this one, but I think why all this is happening is because there was a former game director that worked at Marathon, that worked for Marathon. His name is Chris Barrett, and basically Chris Barrett was accused of inappropriate behavior, apparently touching somebody at Bungie, and was fired while having this investigation as well. Well, he filed a lawsuit with Bungie and Sony, claimed that he was wrongfully let go from the company, and they actually paid him millions of dollars. So I think from people seeing that this person that was wrongfully accused was paid millions and millions of dollars in a settlement, I think people are like, dang, that much money, I feel like I can get that same amount. Obviously not filing a lawsuit or anything, but, you know, if I worked for a certain amount of time in the company, not have any issues, I could possibly leave the company with a hefty amount of money, things like that. But that's all I got for this video. I just wanted to go over this. It is just, like I said, it's insane seeing that Bungie is just in a free fall right now. And it's literally the leadership that is having an issue. I hope that Sony just takes control of the whole thing. Like, they assess the situation and says, hey, fix all this stuff or I'll fix it for you guys. And since it's the leadership, I think Sony is going to have to step in and just start letting people go or firing them because of what's going on, because of the bad business practice, especially after when they see what's going to be happening with Marathon and also possibly Edge of Fate. So we'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the whole thing with Bungie. Honestly, Bungie might be gone. It's sad to say it might end like this year. Not even this year. It could be like next year or the next 3 years. That's just what I'm thinking. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. South Channel. See you guys later. Peace.